Hey guys, welcome to Game Informed Family. This is Game Informed Mom, and today we have another Final Fantasy video for you. We are going to be looking at the HUD. The HUD layout specifically. I'm not going to talk about how to necessarily improve your HUD layout. This is more a guide for complete beginners to know, hey, this exists and this does not have to be what your screen looks like because this is awful. Okay? So, for brand new players, you log into the game. Of course, you don't have as many buttons to push, but this is what your HUD looks like. You got your experience bar down here, your HP, your MP. You got your skill bars that are going to be right here, your hotbars rather, that are going to be right here. This is actually off center. This is like right there or somewhere. You got your items. You got it's a mess. Okay, it is awful. Okay, yeah, no, my buttons aren't up there, so let's go way down here. You're gonna go to your system and HUD layout. Alright, this is terrible. Okay. So how you lay out your HUD is very, very personal. I'm not gonna discuss how you need to lay out your HUD. I'm gonna discuss how I lay out my HUD because that works for me. Alright, now first off, it needs to be flush with the bottom of the screen, in my opinion, whatever you've got down there. So you got your parameter bar, which is going to be your HPMP. You can go in and you can click, here, let me stop. You can click on the little cog when you click on any of these things. This little cog right here is going to pull up your element options. You can go really, really big. Let's see, let's move it so we can see what we're dealing with here. I mean, because, you know, somebody might need their HP and MP to be that big. You can go really, really small, which, I mean, I can't even see that. So, ideal for me is either 80 or 90 typically percent. So I put my parameter bar down here. I'm a DPS. I don't really need to focus that much on my HP and MP. Alright, so, whoops, my experience bar, we're going to make that a little smaller too. That's quite large. Alright, we're going to go 80%. We're just going to kind of tuck it down here, and actually could probably go, well, no, they're the same size, so that's fine. And then, okay, so your HUD needs to be efficient, not pretty, okay? Alright, so I don't play on controller, so I'm just going to move this cross hotbar just out of my way. Now, with hotbar 1, that's going to be your 1 through 9, and then 0 minus equal. I don't like having them laid out straight across. I prefer either a 4x3 or a 3x4. Now, I use a 4x3 on this character because that's what I'm used to. But I really should have done a 3x4 because I do use an MMO mouse and it is a 3x4 layout. So this little line right here that's kind of white is your center of your screen. I like to have my hotbars centered in the screen. So I do 2 as like my main like attacks and buffs and whatnot. The things that I am going to need to be pushing. Okay, I do those dead center down here toward the bottom. Now, I put all of my attacks, all of my skills that I need right there. I take a random hotbar. It doesn't really matter which one. If you right click on it, you can, when it's purple, it's not visible. When it's cream colored, it's visible. So I make that we're gonna go 4x3 on that, and we're gonna make it, if I can click it, we're gonna make it really tiny. Okay, oh well, that's already something else, but that's okay, it doesn't really matter. I put my oh god, the buttons are in just stupid places. Alright, so I come down, usually I come up because the button is up, but I come to actions and traits, And what I do is I take my skills that I need to know my buffs, my cooldowns, and I drop them here. Okay, and then as I'm attacking, my cooldowns are gonna show. Where's my lock? Well, it doesn't matter now, does it? So I have more than this on my hotbars, but now I'm messing up my hotbars. So let's go back to our HUD layout. Okay, there are a few things that you need to know about your HUD layout. Like I said, right click with your mouse. You can show and unshow your hotbars. You can also move this out of your way too. So I like to set my hotbars up so that they're all right on top of each other. And I don't typically leave any of them at 100%. I usually drop them down to 80. Because you don't need them necessarily at 100%. Now what I will do is I'll take a random hotbar, just one that I'm not using for anything else, and I will make it a 1x12 at 80%, and I will move it over here next to my chat box, my chat log. I want that over there for just random stuff that I don't need, that I don't even need every day, but it's nice to have not in my main menu. It's nice to not have to dig around in the main menu. All right. Now let's speak about the main menu. Okay, being down here, no. None of this stays down here. I typically, honestly, there's usually nothing down here for me. At least not right now. Oh my god, there's so much junk. The pet hotbar, we're just going to move that out of the way. Alright, we're going to move all this stuff out of the way up here. My inventory grid, I usually throw over here somewhere. I like having the inventory grid on because I'm a hoarder. Like, as you can see, I've got 3 full boxes of just junk. And that's all it is junk. My main menu, I like to move up here to the top. My server info, I put all the way in the top corner. I'll go back and I'll show you how to get all the different times available. But we're going to make this 80%. No, let's go 90% on that one because I like to, be able to see the time. Always make sure you hit the save button before you try and go and move it. I always forget that. Alright, then we're going to throw the main menu. As you can see, my server name is all the way over here, even though the info box is way over here. It kind of hangs out a lot, so we're going to drop that right there, and actually we are going to go to, that's probably more like 90%. It's kind of up here out of the way. Hit the save button, Angela. Alright, it's kind of out here out of the way, so that's fine that it's that size. Alright, your status info other. Status info enhancements and enfeeblements. Let's talk about that for a second. You go into your UI element setting, hit your little cog. You've got 2 different ways you can display this. Okay, you can display it as a single element, which of course moves it back up. Alright, and that's going to be one long bar with all of your stuff in it. Now, you go back in. And if you split it into 3 groups, that's how I had it. Your status info other, that's going to be like your food, your free company buffs, stuff like that. Stuff that you don't need to really, wrong one. Stuff that you really don't need to see all the time. Group 2, we're going to make them all 80% except for this one. We will drop to 60%. Alright, so this I keep down here somewhere, just out of the way. That's going to be, like I said, your free company, your food, stuff like that. It's long-term buffs typically that you don't need to worry about while you're in the middle of a boss battle. Okay, now enfeeblements and enhancements. Notices I put over here. That's going to be like if you have a you need to make a player commendation, or there's a loot drop that you need to cast your lot on. Your enfeeblements and your enhancements, depending on your class, is going to be where you, not even depending on your class, but depending on your role, is going to be where you want to keep these. I don't need to worry about these a lot, so I kind of keep them off to the side a little bit. And, my UI is a work in progress, always. I'm always changing it. We're going to drop this one to 80%, and we are going to shove it right down on top of the others. I actually think I have those at 90% on my main HUD, my main layout, but that's alright. It doesn't really matter because I'm going to switch to that eventually anyway. So your progress bar. Oh, your progress bar is... No, that's not what I'm looking for. Your target bar. Here we go. Forget your progress bar for right now. We're going to talk about your target bar for a second. So this, again, you can display as a single element, or you can do your target info independently. Now, your target HP, you want this to be central. Regardless of what role you are, what class you play, you want this to be somewhere right where you can see it. Typically, ideal is to have your important HUD parts around a circle like this, so that you can see everything you need to see while looking at your character. Alright, now we're going to drop all of these to 80% because they are so large. Alright, now, sometimes you got to move your other things around. You sit something down and you're like, oh yeah, cool, that works. So I'm going to put my target HP here, and I'm going to put my target status info right below it. And my progress bar, we can just drop it right there. This way you know what the boss is doing. I put my target bar, my progress bar somewhere over here, right? So your alliance lists, you don't need those until much, much later. So until you really get a feel for where you want those, just kind of shove them somewhere. I got 2 extra hotbars here that I really don't have anything to do with right now. I mean, I use them on my main HUD, but move my scenario guide up to the top. New Game Plus, I just leave right there. It's fine. My party list, I'm not a healer. I don't need easy access to the party list. Oh, God. My song gauge is still way over here. I put my song gauge over in this area because I want to be able to see it, but it's not like, oh, my God, I have to be able to see it right in my face all the time. So I try to keep it by my... words, man, they are so hard. By my hotbar with my cooldowns. Now, I realize this is not my cooldown hotbar, just ignore that, okay? So the party list I put in this area, we need to make it much smaller than this. Alright, so you can move all of this stuff around freely. Your focus target bar, you can put, I don't know where I have mine. Probably right here, in all honesty. Your duty list. Okay, this is huge. This is your quest. That is ginormous. There is no reason that I need to have it at 100%. Alright, so we're going to throw that over here. We're going to adjust the map UI because that is also quite large. I typically will go for 80%, maybe 90%, depending on how I felt when I set it up. Alright, so we're going to throw these over here. Okay, like I said, cross hotbar, pet hotbar, I don't need them. I've got a hotbar here for my chocobo and my minions. Alright, so we do that. All of this is less important than all of this, okay? Your important stuff you want here in the middle. Alright, so we're going to save this. It looks like crap, okay, it does. This is what my hotbars actually look like. Okay, my pet hotbar, I don't use it. It's just kind of chilling right there. I've got my alliance list here, my alliance list over here. Got my party list here. I'm not a healer. I don't care what everybody's HP is. I don't need to know. It does not matter to me. My enemy list is a lot closer because if I'm taking aggro on something, I want to know about it. Alright, I've got my cooldown hotbar is right here, right next to my song gauge, right next to my target information, all right here. Okay? So let's save this. Let's get out of here. Alright, that is a much better hotbar layout than that junk that they had there for default. Now I've got my map larger right now because I'm doing a lot of fates and stuff like that. And my little My little pet hotbar kind of invaded into the chat box there. I must have moved it by accident. So I've got, like I said, I've got my chocobo, I've got my chocobo saddlebag, I've got all the stances, I've got, hey, call your chocobo, give your chocobo some guys, yeah, some greens. I can never say that word. I've got the little buttons that I need there. I don't really know why I have that on that hotbar. I guess I had an extra button. I've got my minion roulette and my mount roulette, so I can pull out a mount at will, just push a button. I don't have to do anything else, and it's just easy. And then my minion roulette, I don't know, I like my demon brick right now. I'm not going to change him. Okay, now, as you can see, I accidentally changed those two. So we're going to get rid of those because we don't need those. I keep these here because I want to be, because I'm leveling my crafters and I want to be able to easily switch between them. Normally I have bard here and carpenter here. I've got, these are my shared hotbars. These two here. Obviously, there's nothing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That is not my shared. Just this one is my shared hotbar. And now I can't switch back to bard. See what happens? See what happens when I do this? Well, that's fine. It really does not matter. It does matter. Okay. Where's my bow? This one works just fine. What? Okay, well, fine. We'll do it this way then. Let's put the button back. Gotta fix my stuff that I broke. Now, another thing, a couple of other things that you can get done with your hotbars and your HUD. You're going to go into your character configuration, and you're going to click on, okay, this is not technically your hotbar or your HUD, but your inventory, while we're here, your inventory, you've got a couple of different ways you can display your inventory. You've got normal, which is the default, okay? You've got expanded, which is, you can see 2, and then you've got open all, which you can see all of them, and I think that is horrible. It is too small, and I can't see what I have, so I do expanded. That also works for your retainers. You can do normal or expanded on them as well. I just wanted to touch on that really quick, and then I closed it because, you know, I'm smart like that. So let's go back to character configuration, and you're going to go to your UI settings, and you're going to go to HUD. Now, there are a lot of different options that you've got here. Your experience bar, you can actually turn it off. If you don't want it there, you can turn it off. Your inventory grid, you can turn that off as well, which that you can actually do in the HUD layout as well. But you've got some options here. Display your duty list, you can turn it off without ever pulling up your HUD layout screen. Here's what I wanted to talk about, display server time. So if you turn it off altogether, it all goes away. You've got Eorzea time, local time, server time, and you've got your world name. Alright, so if you untick the boxes individually, it also turns them off. So Eorzea time is the time that it actually is in Eorzea. It says ET, it is 12:35 p.m. My local time, it is 4:36 in the morning. Server time, it is 10:36 in the morning. And you can display your current world, which I'm on Leviathan. So it's just a few things that you can do. You can do 12-hour format or you can do 24-hour format. So if you default to your language setting, you know, obviously it's going to default to your language setting, whatever that happens to be. Well, see, it's not late enough for it to actually show 24-hour format because it's, you know, well, it's about to be in Eorzea time. Now, display your main scenario guide. That is that little guy up there in the top left corner, and you can hide it when all the quests are complete. So like once you catch up to the MSQ in the current patch, you can turn that, it'll just disappear. Target information, this is going to, okay, if you display, you know what, speaking of, I'm going to walk while we talk. If you display only your detrimental effects on like a boss or on a target, that's going to make it so that you only see your debuffs, which not a big deal, most of the time, but if you're in a party or, you know, in a big, you know, like an 8-man or a 24-man content, you need to be able to see that your debuffs are on the boss. So we're going to borrow this Free Company's striking dummy here. As you can see, I've got mine right here. Yours are going to show green numbers. Everyone else's will show white numbers. That's how you can tell. If you tick this box, it's only going to show yours. That's a matter of preference. Now, display the target's HP percentage. Now, obviously, this is a striking dummy, so it's got 100% HP because, you know, that reasons. But normally, if you've got that box ticked right here, as soon as the boss or the enemy has less than full HP, it's going to show a percentage here. Beyond that, I think that's all I wanted to talk about here. You can change the size of the text, like where it's popping up these numbers. Let's get it so that it's on a darker background. See where it's got the 215 there. You can do large. I don't really, I mean, it is larger, but I mean, I'm good with the standard size. So that's pretty much it for your HUD layout. But like I said, your HUD is a very personal thing. My HUD is the way that it is because that's the way that I want it. And I've got some like random miscellaneous just junk right here. And there's a cat in front of me now, so I can't see what I've got there. And those two hotbars, these two here, change constantly as different things that I need come up. Like I've got my housing up here because I'm working on my Free Company room right now. So I've got that there just for easy access. These are just things that I want to be easily accessed. I've got my mark bills and my elite mark bills here. They're not in the way. They don't really need to be right there, but it just seems like a good place to put them because I am using them frequently. You know, I've got my food here, I've got my teleport, my sprint. I don't have my sprint set to a button because I want the buttons to be free for the other skills. But that's a matter of preference. So the way that you lay out your HUD is what works for you. Not what works for me. What works for me may not work for you. Your goal is to be able to look in this circle right here and get most of the information that you need. Now my party list is out there a little bit, it's outside the circle, but I'm a DPS. It's not incredibly important that I can see my party list while seeing everything else, and I felt like it just kind of cluttered the area, so I moved it out a little bit. My party list is way over here, but again, I don't care how much HP everybody has. As long as the tank is still moving, the tank is alive. I mean, the tank and the cleric are moving, hey, I'm golden. I don't care. And when I see the tank fall, that's when I know the tank doesn't have any HP. Beyond that, I can't help him. So I just leave it over there. Now, once I start leveling a healer or a tank, then yeah, that's going to be moving closer in. But for right now, I'm a DPS. I don't care. If you're dead, you're dead. I can't help you. If you're dying, again, I can't help you. I visually look, if I see the cleric, the healer, or, you know, well, the healer being attacked, then I'll help if I can. But otherwise, if you're already dying, I can't help you. Okay, so, I mean, it is what it is. And all of my unimportant stuff is on the outside of my screen. So, those were just a couple of just general things that new players may not know that they can do with the HUD. You know, you log in, you see that HUD, and you go, "Oh wow, okay, well this is what it looks like, huh? Okay." But there are so many things you can do. And now there was a video for this, but you can move your chat box. It does not have to be, oh, that's why the chat box was getting cut off. It doesn't have to be stupid. And right here, not at the bottom, all weird looking. You can move it down to the bottom, and you can split it up as well. But there's a video for that if you want to check that out. What you can and can't do with your chat box, but you can move it. You don't have to leave it looking all stupid there. I mean, if you want, you can even, whoops, dang it. You can even move it over here to this area where I don't have anything, but then I'll never see anything that happens there. So, yeah. We're going to put it right back over here where it belongs. Okay. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this video. If you have anything else that you can do with the HUD that I didn't mention... Oh, you know what? Since we did borrow this free company's striking dummy over here, let's at least check them out and see whose free company, what free company I'm using here. So I am in Mist, plot 6 of the 13th Ward, the Friend Knights. I have used their striking dummy, so if you are of the Friend Knights free company, thank you very much for the use of your striking dummy that you've got outside. And, yeah, that's it for this video. If you have anything else to add, if there's something I didn't touch on, by all means, leave me a comment. And, maybe when we update the video, we can go ahead and show that off too. And if you have anything else that, like, veterans take for granted that new people might not know about, let me know. Drop me a comment. We can see if we can make a video out of it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. We very much appreciate it. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next episode.